Question 16. What is model.attributes? Answer. The attributes property is the internal hash containing the model state, usually a form of the JSON object representing the model data on the server. It is often a straightforward serialization of a row from the database. Question 17. What is the function of Dodgson? Answer. It returns a shallow copy of the model's attribute for JSON stringification. This function is used for persistence, serialization and for augmentation before being sent to the server. This does not return a JSON string. Question 18. Explain when you can use unbinding function in Backbone.js. Answer. When you want to remove the validation binding on the model or all models, removing all events hooked up on the collection, you can use unbinding function. For example, backbone.validation.unbindView. This will remove the validation binding. Question 19. What are the configuration options available? Answer. The configuration options available are initial copy direction, model set options, change triggers, bound attribute, suppress throws, converter. Question 20. Mention what are the typical problems you might face with the Backbone view code? Answer. Application models don't change very often. Application pages are frequently refreshed from scratch from the server. Between different view models are not shared. Question 21. What is the function of escape? Answer. It gets the current value of an attribute from the model but returns the HTML escaped version of the model's attribute. It is helpful in preventing XSS attacks if you are interpolating data from the model into HTML. Question 22. Explain what is the function of parse? Answer. Whenever a model's data is returned by the server in fetch and save, this data is called parse. It is called by Backbone whenever a collection's models are returned by server in fetch. Question 23. What is Backbone.sync is used for? Answer. When Backbone wants to save or read a model to the server, it calls out a function called as Backbone.sync. Question 24. In Backbone view, what is the use of setElement? Answer. SetElement function is used when Backbone view has to be applied to a different DOM element. Question 25. Explain what is model.sid. Answer. Model.sid works as a unique identifier. It is a special property of models. The SID or client ID is automatically assigned to all models when they are first created. This property is useful when the model is not saved to the server but needs to be visible in the UI. It takes the from C1, C2. Question 26. What is Backbone.js? How does it help developers? Answer. Backbone.js is a JavaScript framework which allows the developers to make their life easier by providing the below features. Model::store data model can have listeners bound to them to detect changes to their values collection. Group of models view represents UI routing, manages how to show appropriate view when request through URL. Question 27. What is view in Backbone.js? Answer. Reflect what your application's data models look like, used to listen to events and react accordingly. Question 28. What is L property of Backbone.js view? Answer. The L property references the DOM object created in the browser. Every Backbone.js view has an L property, and if it is not defined, Backbone.js will construct its own, which is an empty div element. Question 29. What are params and splats in dynamic routing? Answer. Backbone uses two styles of variables when implementing routes. Params match any URL components between slashes. You can specify single fragment using params. Splats match any number of URL fragments after the query. Note that due to the nature of a splat, it will always be the last variable in your URL as it will match any and all components. Splats or params and route definitions are passed as arguments in respective order to the associated function. A route defined as /route/action will pass two variables, route and action, to the callback function. Question 30. How the actions performed on model is translated to RESTful operations? Answer. Models are used to represent data from your server and actions you perform on them will be translated to RESTful operations. The ID attribute of a model identifies how to find it on the database, usually mapping to the surrogate key. Suppose you have a table users with columns id, name, email, and you want to save the model back on server when user clicks save button. If the ID attribute of the model is null, Backbone.js will send a post request to the URL root of the server.